What's going on, everybody? Back with another watch list. Next week, March 17th on Monday. Let me get this on so I can hear myself properly. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. We're not over yet. So enjoy your Sunday night, and we'll be back at the battle stations tomorrow. So starting off with overall markets, that's where I like to start first, top-down approach. We've had this big 10% pullback in the S&P 500 and nice little rally on Friday. You get into that options expiry. They like to expire stuff worthless, market makers, unwind positions, etc. So nice little bounce there into the end of the week. I was buying in, I had started in the 559s, added in the 553s. So nice bounce there into the end of the week. A couple other day trade names. Apple, we had that little mean reversion bounce. Wasn't as easy and straightforward. You got the opening drive, little flag once it failed VWAP. Did reclaim trend, but was fairly sideways all day. So for me, the predictability was off that opening range drive. And BBY I had traded as well off the opening range pullback. Bought weakness versus right here versus prior day's consolidation resistance becoming support. We get a flush right into it, but I was all out here by the it was like a 30-50 cent trade, somewhere around there. So those little day trade names didn't really amount to much, but the overall markets had a nice steady grind and rally. I believe Tesla, had some relative weakness versus the markets off the open, but also retook trend pretty well. You got this little multi-day structure here, few inside days, so if this starts to retake those 250s, probably get a decent bounce towards 300. Palantir started breaking prior day's highs off of this gap, pullback, and hold of this higher low breakdown. Started trending pretty well. But that was about it for those larger cap names. I didn't do a whole lot with anything else on Friday. What do we got in here? Luke, El Jefe, Timmy. Timmy's here to make some memories. I like it. GV did another repeat of what it did the other day. PR, pre-market, failed fall through, pops off open, never sees higher. And did the same thing there on Friday. Pre-market, failed fall through, pops off open, never sees higher. So this thing it likes to toy with shorts, squeeze them out, and round trips each and every time. So once this little trend here starts to give way, starts to break below 5 and fail, then everybody's kind of on the wrong side. Shorts are squeezed out, so I don't think this is a crowded short at this point, but you just need longs on the wrong side for them to unwind their positions. Orgo, I like the way this is shaping up. So this hit some price alerts here on Friday. I know Judah and chat had noted it towards 540s, and I was like, it's got to break and build above 540. Yes, it hit this trend line, but needed to build above it. So I know that put it on a lot of longs radars here in the morning, and then failed to follow through all day, closed right on 5, which was that key level that I've been noting for the last week or so. So I think this could be a quiet unwinder on Monday, if it's not gapping down too much. But if I can join that 5 break, I think this is a nice sort of get short on something like this, like a little pop, and then just let it do its thing. Just leave the position on there with a stop. So we'll see if 5 proves there. Curvo, I had a swing on that one in the 6 range, and I swung that. I was awake here in the 530s, 520s. I did not cover, however. I did have this key level drawn. I saw it pulling back into it. Um, I was there on, like, I had the order filled out, and I just didn't click buy. I was like, if this is this week pre-market, by the time 7 a.m. comes, it should be breaking it. And I kind of had a bit of FOMO that if I covered 520s, I wouldn't get back in and I'd miss the unwind. So I ended up covering it right up here into these 580s once it came back through opening range highs, which was a good cover. Didn't turn it into a loss, but didn't take the nice gain that was there in pre-market. RGC was that chat pump type. People were assuming it was in that same basket. However, there wasn't any messages that went out on it. So off this opening range pull, low a day was set and it grinded back the rest of the day. So right up, double top at this looking left daily level. So possible T+1 squeeze out through those 1480s. I think could come. Nothing I would marry. I know it's like it traps shorts. It proves it can squeeze out. I know a bunch of people are looking for this easy fade, including myself on Friday. So the fact that it didn't stay heavy off the open, I think shorts are in a bit of a bind. And if this breaks 1480s, it's thin enough that I think it could rip. It's not really like a full day or a swing type trade. It would just be kind of a bang bang in and out for me. Something like this where you catch a pivot and just lock it into a spike. So I'll keep an eye there. Quantum names. Big move on QBTS, the leader in this quantum basket. Now up from 4s up to 10s. So really big move. Started to speed up and go parabolic. I did take a loss on it. So let me start here. Looking left, we have this 820s. Then we had this 870s kind of congestion that was aligning with some consolidation levels. So we got this parabolic, stopped right, it blew out through those 820s. So I put on a starter into that parabolic. Stopped out, was a fairly small loss through those highs. And then it started to chop out. We get those wicks on the higher end. So once it starts to push out, I started to lean right through here. I scaled through these 870s that ended up wicking me right back. So I covered right through here for another loss. So this one was a bit bigger loss given the scales. This one was just a one entry starter. So I'm glad it held up the rest of the day. Gives another opportunity going into Monday. I like volume and range starting to expand. So there's definitely a mean reversion trade in this. Coming up into some looking left resistance. This 1050 was the level I wanted to keep in mind. Let's see. If you look at the intraday, gives a clearer picture. Get past those labels. You can see it blows out through it, but each time it comes up and tests those 1050s, it has some trouble. So if I can get a gap up and blow out like this, and if I can get this failed follow through setup, but actually have pops start failing off of those 1050s. So A grade setup is a gap up parabolic and then short that failed follow through. There is, a presentation or something next week? Is it Thursday, I think? Let me look. Give me one moment. Catalyst is Thursday, yeah. They got some sort of, I can't remember exactly what it is. It was mentioned a while ago as like a forward-looking catalyst. anyone in the chat remembers. I can't remember. I just remember the date, but I can't remember what the actual news itself was. Is it the AI conference, was it? Because I think it had relation to like SMCI and everything too. Quantum stocks pick up speed in front of the AI conference. Major AI conference next week. The conference, GTC, features a keynote speech from NVIDIA's CEO on Tuesday, and 2 days later, Huang is slated to appear on a panel with a range of industry executives. Excuse me. So that's what it is. It's the AI conference. You got NVIDIA speaking. And if you recall, last time NVIDIA spoke was this big gap down day. So that's on Tuesday that he's speaking, and then he has other industry executives on Thursday, it sounds like. So I will be keeping that in mind. Some people might be holding it into Tuesday or into Thursday and could fail to deliver what they're expecting. So if everybody's long into this, I saw Kyle Williams put out a tweet, I think it was today, asking about the quantum names, if it looks like an A-grade short or not, and a bunch of people were saying it was a long, with quite a few votes on the poll. So that's good for Twitter sentiment, gauging that a lot of people are long into it. So I definitely think QBTS, you've got IONQ with a bit of move, you've got RGTI with a bit of a move, but I personally like QBTS and Qubit. QBTS is the cleanest. Qubit's got a whole lot of bag holders. QBTS is closer to its daily highs, but given where the rest of the sector is, I don't think it really gets going. Straight up spikes into breakout levels typically fail. They're not something I like to buy, so I will be looking for the short on that. And then Qubit, higher the better. I think once QBTS sits back, I think this one follows shortly after. So up in these nines, I think, is that A-grade opportunity. You got prior resistance that became support and resistance again, so if it can speed up into that. But we've got 4 straight green candles, so bigger the range expands and volume continues to blow out. I like that for a watch. Anti, just putting it on radar because it's starting to multi-day run, has a history of complete dilution and obliteration. Like, that's just ugly. So higher the better, just noting the volume. Ideally this daily gets going 1+, and can get another short opportunity out of that. Soon, I had this one on watch on Friday for this little breakout trade. Was just waiting for a risk level to show itself, and it just kind of ground up into that 52 and broke out, slammed down. Not typical price action I like to see on breakouts, so I let it live its life, got off desk, and closed fairly weak. So nothing I have for a trade plan tomorrow, but given that it has some range, volume, and a daily chart that I like, I will continue to keep it on watch and see if it resets up. And then PSTV, not my typical idea, but given that I have a range I can play off of at this point. So we had this big frontside move where a bunch of the volume profile is here down in the 50s. We had this 125's breakdown in congestion area, and once it gave way, had a nice steady fail. If you look intraday here, you can see steady fail, weak close, hard crack, weak close, and then you get this gap down and then sideways all day. So a bit of a trend change here. So if I can get some flushes into those 50s, maybe use prior day's lows as a guide. I think we have some range back up into those 120s, which would be an eventual short. So if I'm waiting for some sort of rip into those 120s for a short, if I can get long with some decent risk reward and be able to sell into that resistance spot, I don't hate it. So it's held red the last 3 days and been fairly consistent. Dollar volume is a bit low, so the way it trades isn't ideal. So ideally can see a bit of volume come in off the open that kind of shrinks the spread, makes it a bit more tradable, and I can keep that one on watch. Just try and take advantage of this little volume profile range here. So definitely main watches are the quantum names for me going into next week, and then a few of those back burner ideas that I threw out there. I just about halfway through the Sunday scan from Investors Underground. I'll finish it once I hop off of here. But Chris and Nick, NCAS from the room, they had quite the extensive conversation on markets as a whole, market thoughts right now. Nick's trading pretty well. This is his kind of market. He's a lot more scalpy and in and out. Like he trades off of a bigger picture, but his intraday executions are pretty quick, back and forth. But he's trading pretty well, just given the range that's happening in these large caps. So I liked hearing their thoughts and their back and forth. I think it was pretty good. So down in the description of this video, the first link down there, I put the link to the Sunday scan. It's the written portion, but you can click on the video that's under that link as well if anyone's interested. You betcha, you betcha. So anyways, I figured I'd get through this a bit early and go grab some dinner. So thank you guys for stopping by. See where we're at tomorrow. Ideally, those plans play out and we get some good trade opportunities. So trade them well. We'll make some memories, get in where we fit in. And I'll see you guys for the next watch list. Peace.